All right, so let's go ahead and take it out for a drive. It's very simple. Down and then to the right. All right. So like I mentioned, this one right here is known as the BZ XLE front wheel drive version, but this is the plus one. So we're going to have a total output of 221 horsepower and 198 foot-pounds of torque compared to the base version that's going to be around 139 horsepower. So we're going to get more range and also more horsepower. So let's go ahead and take it out for a drive. Very good power input. Even though this is front wheel drive, you don't feel too much of the wheel spin. There was a little bit at the very beginning, but after that it kind of goes away, which is pretty nice. And sitting in this cabin space is actually very, very good. The bolstering on the sides with this seat hugs you a lot better compared to what other competitors do in this space, and even higher competitors, for example, offer. They don't have as good bolstering. This one has really good bolstering, so you'll be able to sit comfortably in here. I really like the way that the steering wheel is kind of in this kind of like shape. So it's not a squircle, but it's a full-on circle, like how a steering wheel should be. I've never understood the idea of having a flat top and then flat bottom for a steering wheel. It just doesn't make any logical sense. And I can easily see the actual digital gauge cluster right there. It's actually not being blocked. I can see my miles per hour over there, and also my total amount of range. Speaking about range, this one can do a total range of 315 miles, which is improvement from the pre-facelifted version. So you do have that there. And when it comes to charging, this one can charge from 10% to 80% in just 30 minutes, which is a lot faster than the recently revealed Rivian R2, which kind of competes in the same exact space as what this vehicle does. But setting off, very nice, great amount of comfortability. Now remember, this suspension setup is actually McPherson struts at the very front. So to actually have a more independent, so whenever there's a rockiness happening to the left, it's not going to transition forward to the right side. So it's going to be independent, which I actually prefer. But staying over here, currently traffic, this is how it is over here in Homestead. But let's talk about a little bit of the cabin space, because there is a huge improvement in terms of overall tech. We get the 14-inch touchscreen display compared to what it was before. That had the smaller screen. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was a 10.5 or 10.2 inch touchscreen display. Now, the one caveat to having the larger screen is that the climate control is embedded into it. So just keep that in mind, but you still have like the dials here to go up and down in terms of temperature. So at least it's not like buttons that you have to go up and down, up and down. This one you can actually just twist it to the left or twist it to the right. The only difference is the fan speed that you will have to adjust within the screen. But seeing out here, very good visibility. The way that this window kind of comes back is very reminiscent of the Toyota Prius. So it does have better visibility compared to what you see in other vehicles in this cabin space. But feels really nice. Really, really good suspension. And these are riding on the 18-inch wheels, so they have larger sidewall. So don't worry, you're going to be fine in terms of the sidewall. Whenever you go over bumps, it's not going to pop as easily, but they are going to be a little bit noisier just because this is an electric vehicle. There's barely that much sound insulation or insulation underneath the hood. So giving it some gas, or I should say electricity. Very good, gets up to speed easily. And it also shows you your total kilowatt hours that you are using. So right now it's at 1.4. I'm currently in regular mode. There is a snow mode and as well eco mode, which we can go into. But I want to go ahead and give it some gas around this corner. So that's very impressive. That is very, very impressive in terms of how much acceleration you get, which even though it's 221, it really does move this vehicle. Remember, electric vehicles are going to always be, heavier than a gas equivalent vehicle within the same category. But this gets up and moves. Like, you really do not feel that weight at all. This pushes forward. I'm sure the all-wheel drive version would be even more lucrative in terms of speed as well as agility around those corners, because there was wheel spin, which, like I mentioned, is normal when it comes to front-wheel drive electric vehicles or front-wheel drive vehicles in general. Pressing on the brake, you don't really have to give too much input in terms of the brake. It does have regenerative braking, so just keep that in mind. That's what these paddle shifters are here for, so you can go as heavy or as less as what you want to have. So we could do one pedal driving basically with these paddle shifters. Now, wireless charging wise, I'm really happy that they went for these dual setup wireless charging compared to what it was before, where it was only one wireless charging. And since this is the base version, which is the XLE, there is a limited one. You still can get that, which is very, very impressive. So now we are one pedal driving. So whenever we decelerate, it will automatically start regenerating the friction from the brakes back into the electric motor, or I should say battery. Very impressive. And if we go into Eco Pro, or Eco mode I should say, it's going to go ahead and reduce the power of the electric motor for maximum amount of range. Now, of course, just keep in mind, if we were to turn off the AC completely, we're going to get more range in total. So you do have that, but if you don't want to have it like that, you could turn on S-Flow, which will then only have the AC coming out of the vent where it detects the seats are or a passenger is in, which I actually like that feature. So there's not as much AC being pumped into the cabin space. It still helps with range, and it makes it a lot better in terms of range accessibility. Now, right now, today is a extremely windy day, so there is a lot of, wind coming towards the side of the windows as well as the front window. So it's kind of hard to give you an indication of how insulated this vehicle is, but it's actually not too bad because the gust of wind right now is currently 15 miles per hour. So even with us heading towards where the gust of wind is coming from, it's actually very insulated and it doesn't actually intrude too much sound from the exterior. This is a very impressive electric vehicle. I am so happy that Toyota had improved from the BZ4X, where it didn't make a lot of sense to buy that vehicle. Now, with these improvements, it is so much better, and you can easily get one of these. They're at Toyota dealerships. You have the NACS port, by the way, where you could charge at Tesla charging sites. It does come with an adapter for the CCS version, so you don't have to buy that afterward, which is very nice that Toyota went ahead and did that. A lot of vehicles within this space or electric models in the luxury category do not have an adapter that comes standard with the vehicle whenever you purchase it, but Toyota does have that for the model. And then also you have plug and charge, so you could do plug and charge with this vehicle easily. You don't have to get out of the vehicle to go ahead and tap it on the actual card reader. It will be able to just plug in, charge, and that's it. You could just sit inside the cabin space while it's charging. And remember, there's level 1 and level 2 charging at home. So you have a 120 volt as well as the 240 volt, which the 240 volt is kind of like your regular, washing machine outlet, or I should say dryer machine outlet. So you still have accessibility of charging at home, and you'll be able to do 100% range, and you can actually choose exactly where you want to have it for. The car does come with preconditioning as well, so you can do manual preconditioning and automatic if you use the main navigation of the vehicle. So it will precondition as you start approaching towards the charging site that you need to go to. So just keep that in mind. That is a very useful feature when it comes to having that battery optimized in terms of temperature. So then you can just plug in, have high kilowatts going straight into the actual charging, and then you'll be able to leave within maybe 30 minutes from 10% to 80%. Let's go ahead and take it out of Eco, and let's go ahead and accelerate one more time. Man, that is impressive. For a front-wheel drive vehicle that has this much power and it is heavy, it actually gets up and goes. Very impressive vehicle from Toyota in general. I want to give a huge shout out once again to South Dade Toyota for allowing me to film this vehicle. Once again, if you guys are interested in purchasing any Toyotas or their pre-owned vehicles, make sure to go ahead and call Leo. He'll be able to assist you. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.